Yeah, I'm calling bluffs and I'm not taking offense.
Come on. No, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. So I could drop this album of all Eric Bellinger songs with no features, or I can go crazy in the DMs right now. Just, hey, what's popping? I would love to get you on the song. Hey, what's popping? Like, you got to have a day where you know whatever it is that you do that it makes you boss up and stick your chest out. If you need to hit the gym, if you need to do some cardio, whatever that is, have a moment when you know, like, hey, what's popping? Because chances are they gonna hit you back.
That's right.
And even if they are unable to do it on this project, maybe they'll be it on the next one. And a lot of times that does happen, like the follow through.
Oh, can we talk? Can we talk R&B?
What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ian Vaughn, the R&B ambassador. Listen, I apologize for the interruption, but I need you guys to help us continue to grow this channel. We're doing such a fantastic job growing, bringing you amazing content from some of our favorite R&B artists and contributors. I need you to do this one little thing: like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe is key. Also, hit the notification bell. This will help us to continue to bring more and more fantastic artists to the platform. So with that said, this is a continuing conversation. Can we talk R&B? Now back to the show. What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ian Vaughn, the R&B ambassador. I'm here for another episode, and this one is another. I say special all the time because they are always special, but this one here is like really special because I've been working on getting this guy on the show since the very beginning. He was on my list of guys I wanted on the show from the very beginning. I'm gonna call him the king of independent R&B music, and he has something to say, period. Period. His pen is crazy. Yes. His voice is crazy. And he's been making noise for, I would say, I think about 14 years or so. 15 years.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be your favorite song. Listen, it's easy.
Yes, I got
Eric Bellinger in the building. What's
good? Right, man. I'm good. 2010. That's right. 14 years.
Man.
Yeah.
I was first introduced to your music, I think it was 2013.
Okay.
And it's still one of my favorite songs of you, Circle of Love. When last time you even played it, I heard it.
Listen, I just did that actually on tour in Paris. I think the last night of the tour, I did a moment like a karaoke. I was like, yo, whatever y'all want to hear, let me know. Somebody yelled, come on, Circle of Love. You know, they got an accent, Circle of Love. And we just ran it. As I was listening, I was just like, listen to the entendres, listen to the bars, the metaphors. Shout out K. Roosevelt, producer on that one.
That's special, man. Like that record, I mean, again, that's the one that introduced me to you. I remember I was in the studio at the time recording some stuff, and another producer friend was like, you heard this guy, Eric Bellinger? And I think I had heard something you had written, but I hadn't heard your music.
Yes.
And I want to say this was like on Born to Sing. So this was like before you did the Rebirth one. So this is Born to Sing project. And I just was like, that song literally is still in my playlist. I'm not, no cap. It's been in my playlist all that time.
Fire.
Yeah, dog.
It got the vibe on it, man. Brother. It got the vibe. It got the singing at the end, like the falsetto. I listened when I was like, yo, what was I on? Bruh. I was just going from the soul, man.
Listen, man, it's a lot of R&B artists that, I mean, I'm a fan of R&B music across the board.
Yes.
And as a singer-songwriter, and I've been an independent artist from pretty much the beginning of my career as well, I've always looked at guys like you as, as inspiration in terms of what can be done from an independent standpoint, but also just someone that, as an elite vocalist, you know what I mean? You have an elite pen. You're up there with all of the greats of greats.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't hear that enough,
thank you.
You get that right here.
Hey, I'm going to receive that.
Come on, brother.
Say I appreciate you, King.
Absolutely. So thank you for coming. So we're going to get into it. So I've been doing a lot of research on just back and forth. And I'm just like, what made you fall in love with R&B?
Man, so I think Jagged Edge, I had heard a song, He Can't Love You.
Come on.
And I heard it in the back seat, my uncle car. He had the 212s in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? So I hear I'm rattling.
Oh, and that's
he blasting in the Altima, and it was just like, man. So I grew up singing in church, of course. So I got the just that love for, you know, gospel music in general. But when I heard that, it just was like, oh, this is R&B, but it's still giving me that same feeling. You know, I wanna actually do this.
Yeah. So what year is this? You can't let that was on the J.E. Heartbreak album.
J.E. Heartbreak.
So that's like what, 2000, 99?
Yeah, this is high school.
So you're a church kid, as am I. All the greatest, in my view, had that pedigree. So your parents were youth pastors?
Yeah, my mom and dad was youth pastors.
So tell me how that, like, being a church kid, now this story is similar for a lot of folks, but from you.
Yeah.
Being a church kid, growing up in that environment, was it a strict environment? Like, you couldn't listen to secular music? Was it how was that for you?
So, you know, you got the pastors, then you got the youth pastors. It's kind of like the youth pastors is kind of like
cooler.
They cooler. They little, you feel me? So I had to cool mom and dad that, you know, everybody always wanted to hang. They was always spending the night at the crib, and I think I was cool. They was cool with the, like, I remember listening to like Blackstreet. Yeah. You know, Joe. You know, if it's R&B, my dad is gonna be some real R&B, you know what I mean? And, you know, and even when we was listening to gospel, it was Kirk Franklin. So it was like, you know, do you want to revel? You know, that's lit at the time. You know, so I think it was fun for me, you know, because I was the little bro. I was everybody's little bro that could sing. Yeah. You know, so it was always a thing, little bro that could sing. And, you know, I carried that with me, you know, to this day. I think, you know, the village that raised me always lifted me up and held me in a high regard, you know, and I've been able to carry that from behind the scenes and now to the center stage. Yeah.
So born and raised in Los Angeles?
Yes, sir. Los Angeles.
West Coast kid. What is that like growing up? You're a church kid.
Yeah.
You're a singer, songwriter. You're I guess, aspiring to be that as a kid. Like, what is that experience like?
Yeah. It's culture, you know. It's dope. You know, I'm in Compton. I was born in Long Beach. You know, I went to church in Linwood. You know, I had my school was, you know, a commute 30, 45 minutes away to not go to school in Compton and then go to school in a city called Norwalk. Then I was in Santa Fe Springs playing Pop Warner football, so I was really all over the map. And that's LA. That's why I feel like LA is the best way, you know, to really put it, because it's such a broad city and county. But it really gave me the best of all worlds, you know, because over here, you know, having a much proper education, you know, over here I'm in church, you know, and I'm on the front row. So I sat on the front row. So it's different when you go to church every Sunday.
That's right.
And you sit on the front row.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now there's no nonsense. Now you're sitting. You've learned how to sit with posture. Yes. You know, at the top you might get a peppermint. You know what I'm saying? Right. From Mom's, boom, I got the peppermint. I'm chilling. But you know, I think that taught me as an early age and gave me, you know, some training that I didn't even know I was developing at the time, just by sitting there and knowing how to be patient, knowing how to listen and take in, because the pastor's gonna look right at me, you know. So, you know, everything that I did, it all plays a part, from playing football, and I was the, you know, captain football team. When I was in elementary school, I was the president of the student body, you know. Wow. So I was always like, I'm like, yo, this is what we doing. I'm Aries, like, I'm leading. This is what we doing.
Yeah. So you was always a leader in that respect as well. So did you grow up in the type of church that where the pastor will call you out?
Oh, what?
Like, is it one of those types of
you?
Yeah. Was it so what denomination was it?
It was just Christian.
Also just like a full gospel church.
Full gospel.
What's the name of it?
Resurrection Life Center.
Okay. I think I've heard of your church.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of your church. Yeah. I think they had some dope musicians come out of your church.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everybody in the church, that was like a thing. You know what I mean? That you know, Earl, he was already an artist, a bass player.
Okay.
Earl Espy, and I was always, you know, hanging with him too. You know, his son Amir was like my best friend, and I think that even when you're shaping your friends, your upbringing, that shapes who you are too. Especially, that's like the most important. Sure. Your friends, you know, as kids.
That's
like,
right.
who was you hanging around? You know what I mean? Because, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to go home, you know, if you want to listen to your parents or rebel against your parents, but you're with your friends.
Yeah.
So parents, watch your kids' friends. You can't control when they outside.
That's right. They're going to be outside doing outside things.
That's it. You know, it's different outside than when we was outside.
That's right.
You know, they DMing people, and even in the games, like it's Instagram. Like, wait, y'all got messages, chats?
Come on, man. It's a whole new era now, dude.
Exactly.
It's a whole new era. So what led you to feeling like I want to be an artist? Like this is the life I want to live?
I think I had an abundance of songs piled up that I was trying to get to other artists. I'm sitting up here and writing sessions, and I'm like, okay, this could be for Trey Songz, or this could be for Usher, this could be for Chris Brown, and I'm just like,
But how'd you even get to that though? Like, how'd you get to access
to having songs?
Well, not just writing, but like you got songs at home, but how'd you get to those songs saying I'm gonna get it to these artists, like the industry, like it's an actual, you know?
Man, I mean, well, the initial having songs like Erica Nuri for me was I always will say like my, you know, saving grace and the ultimate like blessing, because she walked me in rooms that was just like I wouldn't have been able to get to. You know, my first session with her was with Rodney Jerkins.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So right away it was like, oh wow, okay. You know, and you know, from that initial meeting to my newest album, The Rebirth 3, he did writer's block. Wow. You know what I mean? So it's a relationship that has lasted, you know, that's like a 20-year relationship.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it went from her introducing me to her sessions to saying, yo, make sure you get a contact. Make sure you get their information. Make sure you keep in touch with them. Hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? If you want to get back in. So, you know, from me being a songwriter that was like being brought in, now it's like, yo, I'm initiating sessions. And, you know, it came from me just taking advantage of the relationships. You know, you can sit on a Rolodex in your entire phone and it be your fault in 5 years because at that party they said, yo, just hit me. But you didn't take that step.
Come on, man. How important is that though? Because I know for a fact, just from my standpoint, I've had those same type of experiences. Like it's like you are at this particular event, whatever. You meet this guy, and a lot of it's Hollywood talk. A lot of it's like, holla at me, I work with you, whatever. And it falls on deaf ears, but you have to ask. Yeah. You know, the power of the ask.
Yeah, I'm calling bluffs and I'm not taking offense.
Come on. No, I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. So I could drop this album of all Eric Bellinger songs with no features, or I can go crazy in the DMs right now. Just, hey, what's popping? I would love to get you on the song. Hey, what's hot? Like, you got to have a day where you know, whatever it is that you do, that it makes you boss up and stick your chest out. If you need to hit the gym, if you need to do some cardio, whatever that is, have a moment when you know, like, hey, what's popping? Because chances are they going to hit you back.
That's right.
And even if they are unable to do it on this project, maybe they'll be it on the next one. And a lot of times that does happen, like the follow through.
That's powerful. This era or this day and age with us having so much access, you know, in terms of social media and so forth, the power of the DM. Because even on this show, we're an independent show. We, you know, obviously I'm a artist, a lover of music, but I'm a fan. I'm above anything else. I'm a fan of the music. Yeah. So I'm not I don't get starstruck in that regard, but I do give reverence where it's due. Yeah. And I have no problem sliding in the DM, whether I've met you or I ain't never met you. Like, dog, look, I love your music, whatever. I feel you. So that's definitely important. I think that's really, that's the difference between the people who actually get success and the ones who don't. Because you take the initiative and you know, like you say, you stick your chest out and it's like, look, man, what's the worst you're going to say is no? Exactly.
It's a no if you don't ask. And I think the amount of people that I was getting hit from, I was like, yo, y'all just not afraid to ask. Like, I was seeing it like, yo, people gonna ask, you know? So I'm like, I might as well ask too. Yeah. Love it.
I love that. So what made you stay independent all these years? Like you have, there's no question that the labels have been knocking. There's no question. So what made you stay independent?
Man, I think in the beginning I was like adamant, like we need a deal. That's why we're the underground hero. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's not breaking barriers, because, you know, we don't have a deal. But as I just kept going and kept pushing, it was like I was learning the process. I was meeting the same people. I was realizing that I'm hiring the same person Def Jam is hiring, as an independent contractor, reaching out to people that are now working freelance. So then after meeting so many people, it was just like, wait, this is the same staff. Like, as I'm talking, they're like, oh yeah, I do the same thing for, Capital. And it was just like, okay, why do I need to give up everything that I built for an amount of money that, for me, I know how much it's going to be, how fast it's going to be gone.
Right.
But you own a piece of this master for like 10 years, sometimes perpetuity.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it, in the long run. And I think, because I've had the opportunity to like sell off like a little piece of my catalog, like as an artist catalog, I was able to receive millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I seen that happen by default because it was just like, I didn't know it was going to be worth much. I was just dropping music because I like putting out albums. But now streams mean something, and now there's companies that will multiply the annual streams times, say, 12 to 17, and they'll give it to you at one point.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Let's try it out. You know what I'm saying? And then once it happened, I was like, oh, it's possible? So then I learned the value of owning your master as an artist. So I wasn't really in a rush to ever sell it away unless it was going to be times 17 like I would get if I just owned it.
Absolutely. That's incredible, man. I know a lot of artists or writers, producers are dealing with that right now. They're being offered opportunities to sell their catalog. Some of them are doing it, some of them aren't. And I know the state of the business is different, right? We consume music differently, so we're not making money exactly the same way how the industry used to do it, right? So no one's physically going to buy, or millions of people rather, aren't physically going to buy a CD or a vinyl that costs $15-20.
Yeah.
And then your whatever. People are streaming. And that payout is different. So to be able to be in the power position, owning your stuff, gives you a lot more control of what you're trying to accomplish as a businessman. For sure.
Because they gonna make sure that they milk whatever it is, that they're investing in. So now that's gonna slow down the process of you, being able to put out more music, which really is like the more you do, the more the streams, the more albums, the more, your chances are of someone listening. And then, now the monthly listener number going up, the stream number going up, and it'll all translate literally to a monthly check while you can be in South Africa.
Come on, man. Come on. So why, what names? Can you, I guess, tell us some of the roadblocks that you faced, just as a businessman and as an artist?
I think the biggest roadblock would be budget as independent artists. Yeah. Because say, for example, you do sign. Now they're going to give you an advance. Now they're going to take care of the videos that you need to shoot. Now they're going to help out with the photo shoot that you need to have. Now they're going to help with the rollout, the marketing, the investing. So, do you want to own the music and piece your way through? Or do you want to say, you know what, I want to create from a place of, some people do not have the energy and the capacity to do that. That's a lot of work. They might want to say, I just want to go to the studio, and, that's the majority of people. And, you can pick your poison.
That's one of the things that make you special, though. So I know firsthand as an independent artist, trying to control everything from a financial standpoint. I got to pay this person, I got to help this person do this. So I need, this person to do that. And you're always like, well, man, if I did have a deal or a partnership with a label or a company or something, that would actually relieve that burden. And the way I'm set up, I have to split myself to two different people. There's Ian Vaughn, the creative.
Yeah.
And then there's Ian, my government name, Ian Spooner, the person that has to take care of the business so that I can be creative. So what ends up happening is when I'm in this mode, I can't write songs as well. I can't even get into that. I have to literally switch.
Yes.
And what makes you special, at least from my standpoint, and definitely from the audience and your fan standpoint, is you are doing all of this, and you still are writing all these records, freestyling them. You flow. I mean, all of this stuff. And that's what I'm saying, bro. You sensei, dog. Like, you know, that's what I think. That's just a very powerful thing and an incredible gift that you have. That's very impactful to the world.
Yeah. Thank you, man. You know? Thank you.
So with all of that, do you still love it?
I do. I still love it. And I think, like, for example, like going and making the Afro beats, you know, going and you know, doing the Amapiano, it was like, it's a new introduction to music even for me, you know, because now I'm doing these R&B songs, except they got a different bounce, they got a different feel, they got a different tempo, different rhythm, but they're still rooted in the same substance of love. You know, they singing, you know, in melodies that are, you know, very, very R&B. Yeah. You know, so I'm always just trying to keep myself new, and I think Michael Jackson, ironically having him on the T today, but every album he was a different character. Yeah. You know, so he was never, you know, once it was done with Thriller, you didn't see the red leather jacket no more. Right. You know what I mean? So he wasn't tired of wearing it. You know, he wasn't tired of it, because now it's time for him, you know, to go boom, Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time, you know, to do an entire different MJ instead of Michael Jackson. You know, so I think I'll just be trying to recreate myself. When you look at each album, it's a different theme, it's a different energy, and I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve throughout the trajectory of the timeline.
How many albums have you put out?
39. Next one is 40. And it's already about to come out. Yeah, I mean, you know, album, EP, project, mixtape. Title them what they want, but that's an album.
Oh no, for sure. All original.
That's a body of work.
Yeah, bodies of work, no question. I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and I was like, man, I said, I think EB has like 20. I was saying like 28, 27, but you were almost at 40.
Yeah,
come on, dude.
Yeah, I did an interview recently, and I think, you know, people were seeing that interview, but the interview was 2 years old.
Got you. Well, you've amassed, you know, this incredible catalog, and you've had the opportunity to work with so many incredible artists: Usher, Justin Bieber, Chris Brown, 7th Street. There's so many of the biggest, best artists out there. Tell me what that's like. You know, what's your process like in terms of helping create these hits for these guys?
I think taking each session and you know, bringing Eric Bellinger for sure, but tapping in to whoever it is the song is for, whoever I'm writing with, because I know that I'm going to be better, you know, if I'm able to ping pong better, if I'm able to, you know, be able to listen better. I'm going to be better at service. I'm going to be a better asset. So, you know, each time I'm co-writing with somebody, I'm always learning, you know, and that is the biggest cheat code, just to have the most co-writes. You know, that's like somebody saying they take the most shots. But in this intention, I'm saying I just had the most co-writes. Yeah. So I can tell, like, oh, wow, you know, I learned this from you, I learned this from you, and, you know, just take something from everybody in each situation.
Do you have a favorite artist that you work with? I mean, I know you've done a bunch of collabs with so many artists, but more recently, for sure, a lot of Chris Brown collaborations. Yeah.
I think me and Chris, like, we work the most, you know, and the most consistent. So, you know, I'm gonna definitely say Chris. You know, it's dope to have an idea and he talk about what he wants to do in the session, and then to see the video down to the orange Lamborghini in fine china.
Come on, man.
In the session, he explained the whole thing.
Wow.
And then I'm like, yo.
You see the whole idea.
You see the whole idea in there.
What's that process though? Like, so when you sit down, well, I'll put it like this, not specific, I guess your internal process, I guess, is the same. But can you share that with the audience? When you are writing a song, you're with Chris, you're with Usher, whoever. What's that? Take us on that.
Yeah. It gotta be the same. You know, I've learned to remove, like, oh, this is with Chris, or this is with Usher, and more so, this is a moment where I can have more ears. So let's make sure that we as a unit can make the best song. You know, at first I was in there like, all right, I got you for me. Yeah. No, he's like, no, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me see. How about that? Let me see. You know, and just playing. And I think, you know, whenever I can bring that energy to a room, it's people's like, like Big Sean new single is Shoot My Shot, like, pew, pew. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you really have to do something that's going to stand out, but not, you know, compromise the character. You know, make sure it's still age appropriate. You know, make sure everything is still in alignment with what the fans might want to see next from that artist in real time, in real life. Like, we're not just making something good. It's like, what could the people not go without?
Do you ever think about some of your songs that you kept that maybe that you feel like maybe you should have given away, or you wish that the artist would have taken, or are you happy that you kept it for whatever reason?
You know, it's definitely songs that I'm like, oh man, you know, such and such would have been dope on this song, but when I'm in a tour, that's the fire vibe, to have both sides. Like, I see the Eric Bellinger fans of the artistry, and they stingy and selfish with the Eric Bellinger songs, the songwriter songs. You know what I mean? So it's like, I put, you know, I have now, you know, come to a place where I put the bell ringers first. When in the beginning it was like, man, but they want the song, it's gonna be bigger, let's just give it to them. But it's like, yo, but what about us?
Yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you this. One of my other favorite songs, and I know this is one of your fan favorites, is Imagination. This record, I don't know what you was on when you wrote that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, just help me.
I remember that was Atlanta session. That was the first time I was ever like, let me go to Atlanta and work, figure it out. Boom. I wrote the song, another song to that beat.
Okay.
And I came out the booth feeling myself. I played it back, and I looked around the room, and I was like, they not as excited as I need them to be right now.
Yeah.
I said, hey, mute everything. I'm going back in, right? Did another song, and that was what was in my head the whole time.
Gotcha.
Right? But it was just like, no, that's Willy Wonka. Don't do that, you know? But that was my gut when I first heard it. I don't know why that melody popped up, but I did a whole song, and it wasn't going crazy. But then when I did that song, from the time I sang that first part, I was looking through the glass, and everybody was standing up, you know, doing all that.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, cool. You know, that, you know, so that just reminds me to always, you know, just push, you know, not be afraid to take that, you know, that next step, but also to continue to go in my gut, continue to go in my intuition.
Yeah. Because that it's like, obviously is that, you said Willy Wonka, that's not Disney?
It was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay, so I do remember
Pure
that
Imagination was
when
called.
I first heard it, I was just like, again, this was years ago. I just remember saying, man, this just reminds me of magic, of I guess it was Willy Wonka's, but I just remember that, and I'm like, every time I've played that for anybody, it has a lullaby element to it, and it has this other swag to it. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was it, man. Gotta go with the gut.
You lost your mind on that joint. But you've done that on a number of songs, like, and that's why I'm like, I'm geeked, because it's like your talent, and I've been around a lot of amazing songwriters, and I always appreciate everyone's unique gift, everyone's unique signature.
Yes.
Your vocal style is your signature. It's almost like Santana has a signature on guitar, Prince has a signature on guitar.
Thank you.
You know, so you have an incredible signature in that respect. So for the listeners, well, do you have out of 40 albums, do you have a favorite album? What's up? It's your boy Ian Vaughn from the Can We Talk R&B podcast. Listen, a lot of people ask me how they can support the show. One way is we have merch now, okay? So they have the t-shirts, have the logo on the front. On the back of the shirt, it says, what's your favorite R&B song? What better way to start a conversation than that? Listen, click the link right here. This is how you can support. A portion of the proceeds goes towards a program or initiative that I do every year where I get sneakers and other school supplies for children that are part of any creative art program. So I do appreciate the support. I'm sure the kids will too. God bless. That's very difficult to, I would assume that's difficult to pick.
I mean, the Rebirth one album was like the one I felt like that was my favorite one, but now I genuinely feel like the Rebirth 3 is my favorite album that I've ever dropped. I know it's the newest, I know it's the most current, but it's the most experienced.
Gotcha. I love that. I love that. You have more in the tank.
Yeah.
Because you're a young man.
Oh, I have a lot more in the tank.
Come on, bro.
Oh, my goodness. More albums done, more albums. I'm just like waiting. Like now is the point where I'm like, okay, let's let the people digest it. Let's prepare the acoustic version. But, you know, the acoustic version is going to be album number 40. And then the next one after that, I think I'm going to start dipping and dabbing.
Gotcha. All right. So we have a segment called The Deep Dive.
Okay.
So we have the song New Flame.
Yes.
Take me on that journey, how that song was created. And
okay. All right. I was at a camp, a Chris Brown writing camp, and there was 1, 2, 3 different studios. And I remember being in this room over here working on something completely different. I do not remember what I was working on. But Verse Simmons knocks on the door and says, "Hey, E, come here real quick." Right? So I abandoned that session because I trust my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I went over there and, you know, he had the beat and he was like, "Yo, listen to this beat." Like, I was like, yo, the energy was crazy, you know? And I just remember he was like, "Yo, tell me what you hear right here on this part." The da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And then I just remember like not hearing any other melodies but that melody in the music. So I was like, "Bro, we got to follow that part." "You gonna be my baby," he said. Instead of trying to think of a different melody, no.
Stay right there.
Insinuate, like shine a light on that melody, you know? And then once we had that part of the song, that's the first part I came in and just did that. And he was like, yeah. He was like, told him, we got to finish this song. So, you know, I remember us knocking out the song and then not knowing what they was going to do with the song for a long time. Calling Tina Davis like, "Hey, what y'all going to do with the song? Y'all going to use it? Because I think I might want to put it out."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, yeah, we got Usher on it." I was like, "Oh,
come on.
Never mind. You guys are good." Never mind. You know, next album, let's go.
So that's how that went. Okay, so that wasn't, when you came up with it, you didn't know Usher was going to be on that record.
Nah, it was just a camp for Chris Brown. Yeah. Later on, we found out, you know, Chris got the feature and seeing Mike Ho did the video, and it was just like, this is a movie. You just never know. It came from him saying, "Hey, come hear this real quick." And then now, you know, as I always, you know, want to make sure to mention that because, you know, without the team and without, you know, with your people, it's not going to happen.
So do you have, I mean, obviously, do you have, you have a team. In terms of writing partners, do you have any favorite writing partners that you work with, or?
I think I like working with Seven a lot. You know, we had a lot of success in those early days with Chris Brown, and it's a sweet spot in like the chemistry in the studio when it comes to the sonic matching from her voice and a low tone voice. It's something magical when she's on there, and you know,
she's special, man.
And she's special and she gets it. She knows why she's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, the reason,
Shout
you
out
know.
to Haines City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Florida. Yeah, she know what she want to do. And I think that's, you know, played a big part in the success, the future success of the joint we about to drop, or for our video drop. You know, I just follow her lead. You know, I was like, "What we doing? What you think? Okay. All right, what about this? Okay, fire." And I'm just glad that she is somebody that's not afraid to say no. Because it pushed me. Like, we in there dancing. Yeah. I'm like, "Oh, we dancing? Choreography?" You know, and I think that took it to the next level. And I'm just glad that I had an accountability partner and my sister to say, nah, let's give them the greatest they ever seen.
Come on, I love it. All right, so we're gonna switch segments to the hot takes.
Okay.
I'm hearing a lot of singers out saying right now that they feel they are the best vocalists
Yeah.
in R&B right now.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't have a problem with people asserting these things when they're actually contributing fantastic work.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's the unadulterated truth, but it's a conversation. Do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's bold when people say they're the best. Like, because it's like, if you say you're the best, you're not. Like, it just kind of means that to me. Like, if you say you're the king, you're not. You know, if you say, it's like, nah. Like, you know, once you feel like you've reached the top, that means there's nowhere to learn. There's nowhere to grow. And, you know, I saw some people saying it, and I just be like, I look at the comments. Like, the comments, the people gonna let you know. The comments is brutal. I be like, woo-wee. That's why you gotta just tell the truth. You can't just, you know, like, who are you to say that you're better than somebody?
Yeah.
Like, nah, I don't think I'm the best. You feel me? Like, I'm such a realist, you feel me? That it's like, dog, I'm the best at being me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. But I'm not, you know, once you say, like, if you were to say, like, yo, who's some dope people? I'm going to name a gang of people. Like, there's so many crazy people out here that the list goes on. And for me to just be, you know, that self-centered, it's like, it's just, it would be a short-lived, you know, probably coming before a fall.
And I agree with that. I think, like, this is not hip-hop. Right?
Yeah.
This is not a posturing contest of who's the best in that respect. We definitely all want to contribute fantastic and the best that we can do. But I think for R&B, R&B is a genre of love, is a genre of contributing your gifting, and that offering speaks to someone differently, right? So if we're talking about artists, I'm just using this as an example. We look at Whitney Houston as one of the greatest voices of all time.
Yeah.
Right? We all universally agree with that.
Yes.
We look at Mary J. Blige as one of the greatest artists of all time. We don't necessarily compare them vocally.
Right.
We just compare what they contribute.
What they contribute.
You know what
and it's on the same magnitude.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you got to know that different people hear different things anyway.
That's right.
So whatever you like, maybe the runs, like maybe everybody don't even like all those runs.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody just want to hear some pain that they can relate to. Yeah. So in that, you know, essence, this person's the greatest. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's like you gotta just, you know, respect the spectrum.
So what do you think about major artists? You know what I'm saying? Put it like this, in the landscape of what's going on right now. Being a major artist doesn't mean what it used to mean compared to independent, you know, because the playing field is, I don't want to say it's equally leveled, but it's leveling a lot more. Yeah. Do you have thoughts on that or something you can share?
Yeah, no, I think it is, because at the end of the day, no matter if you're signed to your own label or if you're signed to the biggest label in the world, what are your social media numbers doing? So if you're a veteran or if you're a rookie in the game, what are the people responding to? That's right. Because that's the hottest thing right now. Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter, like, they can't buy that slot. You can't buy genuine love. Yeah. You know, so, you know, maybe you could do something with the streams and the numbers, but it doesn't translate to shows. Come on. To stadiums. It's like, where are the people that streamed it? That's right. Why the shows ain't selling out, you know? And I think, you know, that just goes to show you that, yo, it's been a restart since the pandemic. Yeah. You know, that was like the great equalizer to where, you know, you can't depend on anybody else to get you where you need to go.
That's right. So, as a songwriter, and again, you ain't got to say you're the best. I say you're definitely one of the best. Do you have a Mount Rushmore of songwriters? Like your favorites?
Yeah, for sure, man. You got Babyface. Come on. You got Jermaine Dupri.
Come on.
The guy's crazy.
He is ridiculous.
The guy's
and slept on.
The guy's crazy.
Come on, like you take a NyQuil, he slept on.
The guy's crazy.
Yes.
Neyo.
Come on.
And man, I love The Dream.
These are you're naming like the classic.
Yeah.
I'm saying classic, but these guys, you know, obviously we all have favorite songwriters. Babyface is on pretty much on everyone's list. But the other guys you mentioned, Neyo, The Dream, Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Dupri doesn't get his credit the way he should, for what he's accomplished and what he's done as a songwriter, both for rap and
Exactly.
R&B. But Neyo and Dream, I look at them as kind of like the newer, Babyface, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. You know what I mean? Like of the 2000s and so forth, because they definitely extremely elite.
Elite.
Yes,
it's like you have all the elements in a song. It's not just a good part.
Yeah.
From 0 to 343.
Yeah.
You did it right.
That's right. I always go back to Neyo's So Sick. When I first heard that song, man, it's still like some songs and lyrics, one line just catch you in the chokehold. You know what I mean? Like, she makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Come on, God.
Come on.
I know the feeling. I remember being in middle school and looking at the little girl with the joints. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I wish. You know what I mean? Like, I know that feeling.
Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone.
Come on.
Like, nah, bro. You too poetic, dog.
Yes.
You too poetic.
Too poetic. I love it. I love Neyo. Big fan of Neyo. So if you had, I guess if you could write a song for an artist that you haven't worked with yet, is there somebody specific that you have your mind on or your heart on?
Yes. Most definitely. I'm going with Beyonce.
You haven't worked with Beyonce yet?
I have, but the songs ain't dropped.
God.
So obviously I gotta go back to the drawing board. So let's go.
Gotcha.
Or it ain't been time, but them songs, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever the case may be, she my favorite. Like,
come
you
on.
know, when it come to like just the overall, like, let's go.
Beyonce is the Michael Jackson, mega star of our time.
Yes.
I mean, obviously Chris Brown is one as well.
Yes, for sure.
Usher's one, but they all came. Usher and Beyonce are pretty much similar in terms of how long they've been contributing incredible music. So he's obviously one as well. What she's done with, like, even this new renaissance, to your point about kind of reinventing yourself for everything. What are your thoughts on her doing the country contribution? What are your thoughts on that?
I think I love her audacity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, when she dropped it, you saw how many, there's already people doing country for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But you saw how many people was also like, oh, I got this country song too.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got, even me, I got country songs 2015, but I didn't drop it. She dropped it.
A whole album.
But not just dropped it.
Yeah.
She lived it. She looked it.
Yeah.
You felt it.
Yeah.
The photo shoots, the image.
Yeah.
She's Beyonce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What she was able to do also is help spotlight and put a light on so many incredible,
I love that.
Black
I
artists
do love
that
that.
was doing country music.
I do love that. Shout out to Shabuzi going crazy.
Come on, man.
It's crazy. I'm like, oh, go crazy, my dog. So I love to see it. You know what I'm saying? I love to see it,
That's fantastic. All right, so we have a segment called Respect the Pen.
Okay.
And, we got to respect your pen.
Yes.
And you mentioned it earlier. You mentioned working with 7th Street. So we one of my favorite songs is Fine China. Chris, like,
yes.
When I first heard it, it feels Michael Jackson. It feels, but it feels original. That it feels.
Yes.
It still has that nostalgic element to it. So the lyrics, my favorite. So, obviously the hook. It's all right. I'm not dangerous. When you're mine, I'll be generous.
Yes.
Like what? Like
I'll be generous. Yeah.
come on.
I'll be generous. First of all, it rhymed.
Right,
But it was great.
It's
It was a great
line.
word.
Yes.
Like, you know, and I think that's the team. Like that was that, you know, we made that song at 4 a.m. Like it started at 4 a.m. Like we had been there all day, and at 4 a.m. was like, all right, y'all, I'm out of here, you know. And Rockstar, the producer, was like, nah, E, one more. one more. And down to like starting with the drums. Doom, doom, doom. Nah, that's not enough, bro. I'm tired. Then next instrument. Because this is, like I said, from scratch, bass line. Ding, 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 put my backpack down. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when it begun. And then the first melody I did was that, you know, and we knew it was special. But then 7 walks in and has, it's all right, I'm not in it. Like the melody. So it's like, oh my God. It's unfolding, and the layers are so, you know, important and unique to each person.
Yeah.
Like that was so 7. And then it was like, all right, what's the title? What are we gonna call it? And then Rockstar, Fine China. You know, it's like, oh, of course you would say Fine China. You know what I mean? Like it was just
teacups.
Yeah, it was this is what we doing, you know, and you know, I'm just grateful to be surrounded by monsters, you know, hungry in a time where I needed that. You know, I needed that trainer to say 10 more sets, Eric, on the push-ups, 10 more pull-ups, dog. Keep pushing. I'm here to lift you if you need to, like, because, you know, we are, you know, each other's keepers.
No, absolutely. Well, when I think about everything that you've accomplished in the game and all you're continuing to do, big shout out to my man V-Script for the assist as well.
Love my dog.
I love him. He's from New Orleans. I'm from Baton Rouge.
Okay.
I live in New Orleans.
Okay.
But big shout out to him as a great songwriter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think about, you know, all these contributions as an incredible artist, the incredible artist that you are. When is the next project coming? I know you're still working this project right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you dropping a project every like really you if you wanted to. I'm not saying you need to stop because you don't, but at whatever point you have enough music to continue marketing, continue pushing, because these songs are still brand new to a lot of people.
Exactly. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to let people digest, because I remember there was a point in my career I was dropping 4 albums a year.
Come on.
Like one every quarter. And just because I had the songs, and why not? I'm independent. Nobody's going to tell me not to.
That's right.
But I was knowing and noticing that people was missing what I was doing. Like, did you hear the song? No, I didn't. You know, I was at work. You know, people have their lives. You got to give people time. So once, you know, I got to that New Light album and we got a Grammy nomination, I stopped. I was like, okay, let's just chill for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that really allowed me to pile up records. So now I'm just sitting on just albums on albums, like at least 3 album concepts, you know, to where 2 of the albums is done and the other one is like just maybe being worked on. And, you know, but I can, at any moment I can say, let's make an album about this. Okay, go into the R&B folder, go into the hip hop folder, go into the female R&B folder, and I can change the words, but I like the falsetto. I got too many songs. I got over 1,000 records, you know, just waiting. So it's just about being strategic. But the next one, I definitely want to drop the end of this year, and then another one like next year. So
for sure,
I'm not stopping on that.
You have another thing that's really inspiring about you. You know, I know you're a family man too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you always highlighting and singing about and talking about your wife, or you know, just I watch your Instagram. I see you have kids, your family.
Yeah.
How important is that to keep you grounded? I guess
Yeah.
the source of some of the subject matter.
Yeah, definitely. It's everything. You know, I think it, you know, unintentionally carved my lane for me. You know, by just following love and by just, you know, unapologetically making my life about my family.
Yeah.
But I also, you know, make music too and like to go on tour, you know, when the time permits. So, you know, I definitely put the family first, and that's when it just really turned up, because, you know, people more so can connect with someone in a family because they have a family. They can relate to the family more so than them connecting to a song or an album forever. You know, so we're in a place now where people really want to know the story.
Yeah.
They really want to know like who you are and why you are, you know, and how you are, instead of, you know, oh, I love that song and now you're my favorite artist forever because of that song. No, you're my favorite artist because of who you are. And I just leaned into it, you know, and it made it easier because it was like, oh, this is more natural. Now I don't have to put on the Eric Bellinger hat, the husband hat, the songwriter hat. I'm just me in every room.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Thank you.
Look, EB, I
Yes,
do
sir.
appreciate you.
Thank you
for joining us, man. Look, this is a continued conversation. Thank you
Okay.
guys for tuning into another episode of the Can We Talk R&B podcast. It's easy.
It's easy.
We got Eric Bellinger in the building. God bless.
Can we talk? Oh, can we talk?